This is the best of the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball and Mark.
Edgar with Mark and Meatball.
Hello, Mark. Hello, Meatball.
Hey, how's it going, Edgar? Great to talk to you, man. How you doing?
I'm ready to rock and roll. Thank you.
Awesome. Dude, this new album, Brother Johnny, I've been listening to it. Really cool that you just released as tribute to your late brother, Johnny. Man, this thing has some serious appearances on it. Derek Trucks, Billy Gibbons. How did you get connected with all these musicians? When you announced this, were they coming to you?
Well, some of them are longtime friends that go way back, like Joe Walsh, many others. And, I didn't want to just round up the usual suspects. And some of them are like Billy, the bodacious Billy Gibbons,
right,
with that
no doubt.
little old band from Texas, ZZ Top, and his vocal on I'm Yours and I'm Hers is just so perfect. It's so gritty and down and dirty, just like Johnny would have done it. And Derek Truck, just his slide playing is incredible.
I agree.
It takes it to another dimension. And that guitar interplay is one of the highlights of the album. And Still Alive and Well, having Kenny Wayne on there was just perfect. And Guess I'll Go Away, I think the hardest rocking song on the album. A lot of it is blues and rock and roll, but Guess I'll Go Away, probably the most modern, and it's really heavy. Like, it rocks like Van Halen and like Foo Fighters.
That's right. I wanted to ask you about that because I know that you got Taylor Hawkins, former drummer from the Foo Fighters, to join you on that track.
Our engineer, Ross Hogarth, who engineered, mixed, produced the album with me. He became the co-creator of the album. He suggested Taylor, which was, I said, man, that would just be perfect.
Yeah.
Because I wanted a more modern approach, to the song. And, Taylor just brought that. I tried to engage him in a business discussion. He would not hear of it. He said, Edgar, I love Johnny. I don't want anything for doing this. I just want to get out there and rock.
That's cool.
And rock he did.
Did you link up with him? Did you reach out to her? Or is this something that he was interested in doing? And was this his last recorded appearance?
That I don't. I have no way of knowing.
Gotcha.
He did it about 2 years before, and there could have been other projects that he did. But as I said, the way that came about, I never would have thought of Taylor. But Ross Hogarth suggested him, and Ross had worked with the Foo Fighters and knew all the guys, as he did so many other people that appeared on this record. There were he suggested, for example, John McPhee from the Doobie Brothers to play slide on Highway 61. He suggested Doyle Bramhall Jr., who plays with Eric Clapton. He's the second guitarist. He worked on the Taj Mo album with Taj Mahal and Keb Mo, so he got Keb Mo, on the song Lone Star Blues, which I wrote especially for the album. The whole album, it just turned out to be this joyous, uplifting experience. And I thought that it would be emotionally difficult. I knew it would stir up a lot of old childhood memories. But it turned out to be a great source of strength and comfort to me doing all of these songs, the songs I grew up on, the songs that taught me how to play. People like Chuck Berry, Ray Charles, Bob Dylan, the Stones. These became the soundtracks to many of our early lives, certainly for me and for Johnny. So it was great to revisit all of that. And, Johnny is my all-time musical hero. And my wife, Monique, to whom I've been married for 43 years, happily and blissfully. And I think if it weren't for her, I don't know that I would have made the record. But when we talked about it, I trust her intuition more than my analytical thinking about things. And she said, well, you always talk about how Johnny's your all-time musical hero, and you wouldn't be where you are today if it weren't for him. Well, here's your opportunity, to acknowledge that. You owe that to yourself, to Johnny, to the world. And she couldn't have been more right. So It's not the album that Johnny would have made, but I think it's the album he would have wanted me to make for him.
Well, it's a great tribute to him, and I have to imagine that it has to help you with the grieving process, because even though it has been 8 years, that's your best friend.
Yeah, it was very cathartic and very healing, and I just had a great feeling of peace and serenity after having done it. A lot of the people that you mentioned were people that I had known for years, but getting a chance to work with new people who I'd never met, and they all had Johnny stories, like blues festivals and things that they had played, and it was just such a warm, wonderful feeling getting to meet, and expanded my musical horizons beyond what I ever would have expected. So
yeah, that's
there you have it.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's funny because I was listening to it in the office the other day, and then I pulled up an album, which is one of my personal favorites. That's the King Biscuit Flower Hour, B.B. King album.
Oh yeah,
which you and Johnny won. Did he invite you to play that show with him, or were you already there? How did that go down?
I can't remember exactly. I think there probably was some prior arrangement with Johnny, but back then the whole thing was so new to me. It was really Woodstock that changed my life. Up to that time, I thought of myself as more as a serious musician. Thankfully, I've gotten over that, but I was more interested in jazz and classical music. Johnny was the one with the dream. He was Johnny Cool Daddy Winter with the pompadour and the shades and the guitar and the girl. He watched bandstand, and I was like the quiet kid who played all the instruments. And so it worked great because, in our bands, like Johnny would pick a song and figure out the guitar part and learn the words, and then I would figure out all the other parts and show our friends around the neighborhood, show them the parts to play. So there you go.
That's cool, man. Well, the album is Brother Johnny, the Johnny Winter tribute album from Edgar Winter. All-star cast of musicians out now. You can check it out. And Edgar, man, it was great talking to you, and super pleasure. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
All right, and thank all the fans out there that have followed my career as well as that of Johnny's throughout all these years. It's meant the world to us to do what we most love, and see y'all out there having a great time. So keep on rocking.
You got it. We'll see you in Michigan soon, my dude.
All right.
Live weekday mornings from 6 to 10 and on demand in the Rocker app. It's the best of the Rocker Morning Show on 107.7 RKR.